Imagine sailing into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, only to watch an entire cargo ship disappear without sending a single distress call. No explosion, no storm, no wreckage, just silence. At first, the world assumes it was another tragic accident. But when 3 more ships vanish in less than a week, panic spreads across every major coastline. Satellites search the ocean day and night, yet they find nothing except one impossible detail. Every missing vessel disappeared at exactly 3:33 a.m. Governments call it a coincidence. Scientists blame underwater earthquakes, but one oceanographer knows they're all wrong. Her name is Dr. Elena Carter, and she has spent 20 years studying mysterious sounds coming from the deepest part of the Atlantic. Most people have never heard of the Abyssal Trench. It is a place so deep that sunlight has never touched it. A place where pressure can crush steel like paper. A place where thousands of species have never been identified. And according to Elena, something down there has just awakened. She first noticed it 3 months earlier. Hidden beneath ordinary whale songs was another signal. A low, repeating pulse. Slow, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. Every 24 hours, the pulse became stronger. Then sea life began disappearing. Whales abandoned their migration routes. Entire schools of fish vanished overnight. Even great white sharks fled toward shallow water. Animals always sensed danger before humans did. This time was no different. No one believed Elena, until a naval submarine investigating the missing ships suddenly transmitted one final message. "We're not alone." Static swallowed the rest. The submarine disappeared seconds later. Its nuclear reactor never exploded. Its emergency beacon never activated. It simply stopped existing. Within hours, world governments formed a joint expedition unlike anything in history. Their mission was simple: travel to the Abyssal Trench. Discover what was hiding below. The expedition vessel, the Horizon, carried the best experts from around the world. Marine biologists, engineers, military officers, robotics specialists, even a historian who spent his life studying forgotten sea legends. Most of the crew laughed when he packed several ancient books alongside modern equipment. "Planning to read bedtime stories?" one sailor joked. The old historian smiled. "No, I'm looking for warnings." 4 days later, the Horizon reached the coordinates where every ship had vanished. The ocean was strangely calm. No waves, no wind, no birds. Even the air felt unnaturally still. Elena lowered an advanced underwater drone into the darkness. Its cameras streamed crystal-clear images back to the control room. For the first 1,000 feet, nothing. Then strange rock formations appeared. At 2,000 feet, massive stone pillars emerged from the darkness. They were perfectly straight, impossible for nature to create. Someone, or something, had built them. The deeper the drone descended, the more unbelievable the images became. Gigantic staircases carved directly into underwater cliffs. Statues larger than skyscrapers. Broken temples covered in glowing blue coral. An entire city slept beneath the sea. The historian's face turned pale. "It can't be." Elena looked at him. "You've seen this before?" He slowly opened one of his ancient books. Inside was a drawing nearly 2,000 years old. It showed the exact same city. Beneath the picture were only 3 words. "The kingdom below." No one spoke, because the impossible was now sitting on every monitor in the room. Suddenly, the drone's lights flickered. One by one, its cameras shut off. Only a single screen remained active. It pointed toward the center of the ruined city. At first, everyone thought they were looking at a mountain. Then, the mountain moved. A giant eye slowly opened. Its pupil alone was wider than a football field. The control room fell completely silent. The creature didn't swim. It simply watched the tiny drone hovering before it. Then something wrapped around the camera. A tentacle, not the size of a tree. Not the size of a building. The size of a suspension bridge. The feed filled with static. Just before the signal vanished forever, the camera captured one final image. The enormous creature wasn't sleeping alone. Hundreds of glowing eyes opened throughout the ruined city. There wasn't just one monster beneath the ocean. There was an entire colony. And they had just realized. Humans had finally found them. The control room erupted into chaos. Every monitor went black at the same time. The only sound left was the ship's emergency alarm echoing through the steel corridors. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The image of those hundreds of glowing eyes was burned into everyone's memory. Finally, Captain Marcus broke the silence. "Tell me that wasn't real." No one answered, because every person in the room knew exactly what they had seen. Dr. Elena slowly replayed the drone's final transmission. Frame by frame, the enormous eye, the colossal tentacle, then, something even stranger. "Stop," She froze the last frame. Hidden behind the massive creature was a structure unlike the ruined buildings surrounding it. It wasn't broken. It wasn't covered in coral. It looked perfectly preserved. A gigantic black gate stood in the middle of the ancient city, covered in glowing symbols. The historian stepped closer. His hands began trembling. "I know these markings." He quickly opened another ancient manuscript. Every page contained different civilizations: Egyptian, Greek, Mayan, Phoenician. Despite being separated by thousands of years, each culture had drawn the exact same symbol, a circle surrounded by 8 twisting arms. They all believed it represented destruction, he whispered. But they were wrong. He looked directly at Elena. It wasn't a warning. It was a lock. Silence filled the room again. Before anyone could respond, the ship suddenly shook. Hard. Coffee mugs slid off tables. Equipment crashed onto the floor. The crew rushed onto the deck. The ocean had changed. Minutes earlier, the sea had been perfectly calm. Now it was spinning. A massive whirlpool was forming around the horizon. At first it stretched only a few hundred feet. Then 1,000. Then 2,000. The entire ocean seemed to be rotating. Captain Marcus shouted into the radio. "Full engines." The massive research vessel roared to life. Every engine pushed at maximum power. Nothing happened. The ship wasn't moving forward. It was being pulled backward. Slowly, steadily, toward the center of the whirlpool. Below them, something enormous was rising. The sonar operator's face turned white. "You need to see this." The screen displayed a shape larger than any animal ever recorded. Length, unknown. Width, unknown. The computer couldn't calculate its size because it extended beyond the sonar's maximum range. "It has to be a malfunction," one engineer whispered. Elena shook her head. "No." She pointed at dozens of smaller signals surrounding the giant one. "It's not alone." Suddenly, one of the crew members screamed. Everyone looked toward the starboard side. A cargo container slid across the deck by itself. Not because of the waves. Because something beneath the water had wrapped around it. The steel container crumpled like an empty soda can. Then it vanished beneath the surface. The ocean exploded. A tentacle burst from the water. It wasn't attacking. It simply rested against the side of the ship. Its skin was covered in glowing blue lines that pulsed like veins. Hundreds of scars crossed its surface. Embedded between the suckers were broken anchors, submarine propellers, fragments of warships, even the rusted bell from an ancient sailing vessel. It had been collecting pieces of human history for centuries. Nobody dared breathe. The tentacle remained perfectly still, almost as if it were listening. Then Elena noticed something impossible. "It isn't hunting us." Captain Marcus looked at her. "Then what's it doing?" She slowly raised one of the underwater microphones. The strange heartbeat signal, the one she had been tracking for months, was growing louder. Boom, boom, boom. The glowing lines along the tentacle flashed in perfect rhythm with the sound. The creature wasn't making the signal. It was responding to it. Which meant only one thing. Something even larger, something powerful enough to command an entire colony, was still hidden beneath the ancient city. Then every light aboard the horizon went out. The engines died. The radar disappeared. The ship drifted silently above the abyss. For 3 long seconds, there was complete darkness. When the emergency lights finally flickered back on, the tentacle was gone, but someone gasped and pointed toward the horizon. Far away, where the ocean met the sky, 8 enormous shadows were rising from the water. Not tentacles, not waves. They looked like gigantic stone pillars reaching into the clouds. The historian stared through his binoculars, then lowered them with shaking hands. "We've been asking the wrong question." Elena frowned. "What question?" He swallowed hard. "We kept asking how many Krakens exist." He looked back at the distant silhouettes. "The real question is, how many are waking up?" The sea fell silent again. Too silent. The massive shadows on the horizon stopped moving, as if they were waiting for a command. Captain Marcus immediately ordered the engines restarted, but every control panel remained dead. "It's like the ship has no power," an engineer said. Then Elena noticed something strange. The blue stone-like symbols on the ancient gate far below had begun to glow brighter. "They're activating," she whispered. The historian's face turned pale. "If that gate opens..." Before he could finish, the ocean beneath the horizon shook violently. A deep crack echoed from the abyss. Then, for the first time in thousands of years, the giant black gate began to open. A stream of brilliant blue light shot upward through the water, reaching all the way to the surface. The surrounding Krakens immediately lowered their enormous tentacles, almost as if they were bowing. "They're not attacking," Elena said quietly. "They're guarding something. And whatever was sealed behind that gate was finally waking up."